So let's talk about Santo because I wore my Santo shirt for you. Uh, this is
It looks good
this
on you too.
this is a great thank you. This is a great release because it is restorations, like high definition restorations of 8 films that have been very hard to get recently in the US market, especially in high definition. But there's been controversy around this because they do not have original Spanish audio. And now I've made a video about this. It was one of the few videos in the history of my channel where I had to make a follow-up video about it to say like, hey, here's what's going on. Can you talk to me just a little bit about why these don't have the original Mexican audio tracks?
Yeah, we originally licensed these titles uh, back around 2012, I think it was, and we came out with uh, all the same titles that were on this collection, plus a lot of other Mexican horror films, and they most of them only had Spanish tracks at that time. Uh, After our license expired, we went back to the producers in Mexico and tried to relicense the Spanish versions, and they had sold the rights to the Spanish titles to another company, and but they retained the. They said if you want to produce these for in English, you can, and and really that was prompted by El Rey Network and
Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez. Uh, he was with one of the people behind the El Rey Network, which was a new cable network that was aimed at the Latino market and really at a younger market, uh, you know, of Latin people uh, who maybe spoke a little bit of Spanish, but they primarily had grown up and learned English. So he wanted to showcase Mexican cinema, but he wanted to make it more approachable, by creating English tracks. So we did that. The But that's the only thing we could release at the time.
Mhm.
Hopefully at some point I will be able to re-license those Spanish tracks and then we'll make those available. But if there's probably a lot of those that could be found on the used market, and they might even find some new if they're still interested because we sold a lot. But
We could also talk about the Aztec mummy collection. You've got K. Gordon Murray dubs where possible, and I appreciate that because that's like this vintage. It lets me know that I think for any customer that's curious about these and they see the presence of a K. Gordon Murray dub, that lets them know you knew what was going on. It's not like you threw this together slapdash. You did everything you could to make it as complete as possible because those dubs go back to 60 years or so ago. Those
mm-hmm.
are when they first were brought to the American market. And I love those dubs, by the way.
Those were really good dubs. K. Gordon
Yeah.
Murray, I think he had a sound studio that did all the dubbing for these, and they were really talented at what they do. It's not easy. It's not an easy job, uh, but yeah, they ranked very highly, in making these dubs. Uh, Probably a little bit better than the studio we hired to do the new Santo ones. But I mean, they're kind of goofy movies anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to offend somebody out there, but really uh, they are what they are. Santo is a huge international hero, uh, but
Mm-hmm.
come on, some of those movies are kind of cheesy. So uh, I think that the dubbing kind of reflects, that kind of flavor. And besides that, Robert Rodriguez approved it and loves it, and so that, I'll go with that.
Yeah,